All right, guys. Thank you for joining me again. So, as you can see, tonight's title is a bit of not an issue, but in Virginia, they want to, not they, but one lady in particular wants to pass a legislation where parents can get in trouble for not letting their kids change sexuality or gender. Now, the name of the Democrat is, or sorry, politician is Elizabeth Guzman. She's a Democratic Virginia delegate. She had introduced this bill back in 2020. They kicked it off the table because there was a lot of pushback from Democrats and Republicans. And so, anyway, she reintroduces the bill as of recent. Now, I did a video on this, so you guys can watch the What's Going On My Mother's Spark. You could watch the video on this that I'm releasing probably later in the week. But all I'm going to say is that when stupid ideas, no matter what it is, gets brought up to legislation or brought into the political arena, um, sometimes a lot of the times, most of the times, 90% of the times, it will die. But when they keep carrying on with the same stupidity, you're just like, they're trying to push this agenda and they're trying to push it hard. They're trying to make people deal with this in a way that the only way for this to end is bad. And I mean bad as in politicians are going to feel the pushback on this. Now, imagine being brought up on charges for child abuse because you don't play the psychological game with your kids. Kid comes home and the kid's like, today my name is Sarah and my pronoun is she. You'd be like, today your name is dead meat. You better get in your fucking room. With that, the next day the kid goes to school, tells the teacher that he came out to you and you had an issue with it, and then they call the cops. Now, that is a bit of a far stretch. But the fact that they actually had that in the original bill and then they pulled back on this newer bill, if you will, but both of them, this second one will get shot down. But the fact that they keep trying is a bad fucking thing. It's just bad. To bring parents up on felony charges or charges, period, because you don't want to play this crazy game with your kids, I'm like, I'm out on playing that crazy game. If they told me I would go to jail, I'm like, well, shit, then you better bring the SWAT team in because we're all fucking going to the hospital. Because there's no way you're going to tell me that I have to play this stupid game with my kids. Or did I even have to fucking further psychologically damage my kids by going down this road? And yes, Mo Prepper. The crazy shit is that the LGBT kid community, if you will, they're well under 1%. So meanwhile, I would say 3 to 5% of the nation's getting their asses handed to them by criminals, or maybe more than that now, because crime is up everywhere, right? But it's 3% of the population that cause the biggest problems. That's what it is. Sorry. So crime is spiking in the double digits, right? We have 20% crime in certain places, and we have like 80% crime increase in other places. But they want to worry about a kid's pronoun and whether or not the kid's being treated uh, at home correctly by having his pronouns said at home. So imagine, because you're not saying the kid's pronoun, you're calling the kid, Derek because he's a boy, but he wants to be referred to as Sarah, but you keep calling him Derek, and then he fucking tells the teacher, and the teacher's called the cops on you. After I dismiss the cops, I go visit the teacher, right? And whatever happens after that happens. But the bigger problem is we have psychologically damaged teachers teaching our kids. We have teachers who are going into school with rainbow colored hair, teaching the kids about their pronouns, the teacher's pronouns. A teacher is supposed to go in a classroom, say, my name is whatever their last name is, and move the fuck on. Not sit there and try to introduce to your kids what pronouns are. Now, teachers should be teaching kids math, script, which they don't know anymore, or maybe computers. But when you have an entire classroom and you have your classroom walk in into the classroom, you have your classroom walk in, sorry, and you have on the table pronouns for the kids to pick from. All right, nice one, prepper nerd. Um, you have different pronouns on it. So now you're telling the kids as they're staring at these pronouns, well, what do you feel like today? And the kid's like, well, I feel like a boy. Well, why don't you try a different pronoun today? We'll play around with it. This is the teachers telling this to the kids. And the kid's like, no. Or some kids will be like, okay, and then they'll pick a different pronoun. Teachers are inherently forcing kids to deal with this. This is not a kid issue. This pronoun shit is not a kid issue. Now, if a kid pulls you on the side and wants to talk about its pronouns, whatever. I still disagree with that, and that's not up to the teacher to have that conversation. But that's a one-on-one situation. When you start having kids in a classroom setting throughout the entire classroom say, well, listen, today we're going to talk about pronouns, but forget about history lessons and math and science. You're focused completely on pronouns. There's a fucking problem. And this should definitely be getting corrected. Teachers should not be teaching this crap to kids, and if they do, they should be kicked out immediately, suspended, fired, put on a fucking cross and burned. Whatever the fuck you want, whatever route you want to go down, that's what should be happening. Beatings should ensue, whatever it is, because teachers do not need to be worried about a fucking kid's pronoun. The first day of my daughter's school this year, she says the first day the teachers were asking the students what their pronouns were. You shouldn't be asking what a kid's pronouns are, and you shouldn't be playing the psychological game with kids. Kids don't know any better. If you fucking call a kid Superman, you're going to see that kid on the roof 5 minutes later jumping off because he thinks he's Superman. You can't fucking sit there and tell a kid he's a girl when he's not. Or a tree. Or a seagull, which is a new one I'll get into in a little bit. They have these new pronouns now called neopronouns. So the pronoun game or party has come full circle. Because now you have people trying to break down different pronouns and give and make up different words, make up different terms, if you will, terminologies, making up these different terminologies to talk about pronouns. South Florida DCL. Yeah, man. Listen, I wouldn't subscribe to that. But I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't subscribe to my kid telling me, "Oh, you better call me this." Really? Because you're gonna get a fucking beating in 10 seconds if you don't get out of here. You know. Um, and that's what parenting should be. But instead, we have psych patients teaching our kids. That's the bigger problem. You heard me. If you heard me say this before, I'll say it again. The psych patients are running the asylum. We have fucking psych patients in school teaching kids how to be crazy, not how to be a student, not how to get better grades, not how to fix a computer or write out their resume. We have these psych patients teaching kids how to be crazy, and that's all it is. And it's that simple. A fucking kid should not sit there and on a blackboard or whatever the fuck they call them now, because I think blackboard's fucking racist, on a blackboard sitting there talking about the different pronouns. And then the neopronouns going, well, you know, like you could be a frog or frogs. Depends on the pronoun you want to go with. I'm like, bitch, not for nothing. Putting an S on the end, yes, neopronouns. There's a chick on YouTube. There's a chick on YouTube who talks about pronouns, and she goes along the route of today I'm going to teach you guys how to say frogs pronoun. I'm like, bitch, we know how to say frogs. Frog is one, frogs is two, plural. Frogs, easy, right? But she has a TikTok channel where she talks about this. Now I don't follow TikTok. You guys know I don't have this, so I have to go through other people to look at TikTok videos because I refuse to put that Chinese spy app on my phone. With that being said, guys, I do think a lot of that shit is made up. I think personally she's being a fraud and trying to make money being a psych patient. I don't really think she believes this shit. But yes, people on YouTube are stupid, including myself, but I'm not that stupid. That's below. That's actually below stupid. It's I don't know, but it's. I mean, listen, guys, you can't say anything anymore. It's you tell somebody if they tell you the pronoun is seagull, you're gonna be like, I'm not calling you that, and the guy's like, well then that's how you want to show me respect. You call me seagull, then I won't respect you. It's as simple as that. There's no way, shape, or form, guys, that I will fucking change vernacular and language for a psych patient. I'm not calling a singular person they or we. Uh, Ezra Miller, that's the kid that's playing the Flash in the DC comic on over at Warner Brothers. They refer to him as they, and they, meaning the media, refers to him as they. They are going to court for a bunch of bullshit he just did. And I'm like, it's not they, it's he. Stop trying to fucking play into the psych patient's bullshit. Because here's the problem, guys. The pronoun game, we played into it. People said, okay, uh, I am none. I am no one. There is a pronoun as a ghost. I hate to break it to you, but somebody on on YouTube, went over this psych patient that says that her pronoun is ghost. Whatever. Um, but back to what I was talking about. Actually, I lost my train of thought of what I was talking about. But as in regards to the whole pronoun shit, guys, it's just getting way the fuck out of hand. Now, I'm not going to respect anyone who's going to use a pronoun other than he, me, myself, and I. That's it. You're not going to get that respect. And that's the thing they hid behind. They hid behind that whole, well, it's about showing them respect. Fuck that. They're being disrespectful by fucking changing the English language. They're being disrespectful by bringing their psychological bullshit to school. That's the fucking problem. And Hudson Valley, you're right. We shouldn't allow this to continue. We need to break these teachers' balls or get them kicked out of school, whichever the fuck is. There was a teacher who, I think some of you heard me say this. I'm sorry, before I go down to the teacher that wants to be referred to as a seagull, the TikTok group, guys, this girl, again, she goes over the pronouns and she's like, today we're going to talk about bugs and bug and how to say bugs and bug pronoun. I'm like, so she has a whole YouTube video thing, and I'm sorry, TikTok video thing on how to say simple pronouns. So we know that this bitch is fake, but she has colored hair. And I'm sorry, ladies, and even gentlemen, if you have colored hair, what I'm about to say is definitely going to offend the shit out of you. But I do not trust anybody with colored hair anymore. Anytime I see a motherfucker with pink, blue, orange, red hair, I'm like, crazy. If you're 50 years old and you're coloring your hair neon red, there's a motherfucking problem. And unfortunately, the psych patients made that connection for me. So if you're not one of them, then obviously I'm not talking about you. But I tend not to trust people with fucking colored hair. I just don't. I'm like, I see fucking somebody walking down the street with half pink, half blue. I'm like, psych patient. This motherfucker's crazy. Then you see Mr. Pink and colored hair walking into the school. You're like, fuck. Am I going to have to yell at this motherfucker today? And anyway, the whole pronoun shit is getting out of control. Ghost, seagull, cat, frog, horse. I don't. Whatever. Yeah, Adriana. It's funny because I was at Kalahari with the kids, which I'll tell a quick story about the whole Kalahari adventure I went on with the kids. But I saw a couple chicks there with colored hair, and I'm like, oh, these bitches are out of their mind. They're just crazy. And normally it's liberals that color their hair. Normally, not all of the times, but like 90% of the colored haired freaks I see here in the city are liberals. Occasionally, when I go out of the city and I see it, I'm like, I don't know, But anyway, listen, if you color your hair to hide your grays, that's different. But when you color your hair blue, pink, neon red, fire engine red, there's an issue. Um, but when I saw these two girls that had their hair colored in Kalahari, I was like, they're fucking everywhere. And then these chicks are too old. They were just too old for whatever it is. Well, my pronoun is pure blood, and I am a raging asshole. That's how I would start the fucking conversation to piss everyone off in that audience, whoever the fuck it is. But anyway, uh, the pronoun thing, guys. We sat there and we gave into it. We played along with this game. We said, okay, they're not hurting anyone, so let's acknowledge their pronouns and call them they and we. So what did people do? We called them they and we. Not me, but, society. So we sat there and we made reference, guys, to accepting their pronouns. Fine. Exactly what I said is what happened. When you're giving the psych patients in their bullshit, they fucking take the ball and they keep running like Forrest Gump and Forrest Gump when he was running across the football field, right? Forrest Gump was, retarded. Anyway, when you take retarded people, guys, and you let them fucking have at it, this is what happens. They fucking run the fuck away. The train has left the station at high speeds and they can't stop it now. Because we played the pronoun game with them. Now they want to fucking make it worse and say, well, now my pronoun is he and she. Okay, fine. We'll play that game, society. All right, now my pronoun is seagull and frog. Seriously? Well, that's how you respect me. Okay, now my pronoun is ghost because Halloween's around the corner. That dumb bitch. Anyway, different story. So you see what is going, guys? We keep accepting crazy, and crazy doesn't stay. Crazy people don't follow a path. Again, they're like a fucking 10-year-old child with a crayon trying to color inside the lines. They're all over the fucking place. So when you let psych patients who don't have a straight path of thinking dictate to you what to call them, this is what we have. We have Crazyville. We have a fucking grown man, a teacher, I might add, saying that my pronoun is seagull and could you address me as such. Now, I was a little confused when I heard him talking because he said my pronoun is seagull and people called me something seagull. There was another name he had before it. And I'm like, what the fuck is he calling himself a seagull? And is that his name? Was that his pronoun? I couldn't decide. And I stopped. I stopped trying to figure it out. But we let the fucking psych patients in the train, and now they're running the train system. And now they're at full speed, and they're even arguing with one another about pronouns and how to say them. Again, when you let psych patients run amok, guys, this is what it looks like. It looks like an insane asylum with fucking crazy people rubbing shit on themselves and the walls, pissing all over the place, and eating fucking spam haphazardly. Right? But again, guys, those teachers need to go. They need to take their bullshit and bounce. Hair phobia? No, hair phobe. Yeah, I'm not a hair phobe. I just like to identify this fucking psych patients. Blue hair, crazy. Green hair, crazy. 80-year-old, neon red, definitely crazy. And crazy for a long time. It is what it is, right? I mean, and now, how do we address it? Well, a lot of us can address it by going to our schools and kicking these fucking teachers out. Period. Get them the fuck out of the school. Listen, if they want to have a TikTok channel and they want to talk about how their pronoun is ghost or ghosts or deer or flock of seagulls, whatever the fuck it is, that's on them. Keep that shit at home. But don't go to school and then tell your kids that's your pronoun. We have never, ever gone to school and had our teacher said, Mrs. Latner, and then Miss Latner will follow up with, my pronoun is she and her. Never. But now people feel the need to say my pronoun is she and her, he and him. I'm like, you're an asshole. And this is why I stopped watching a lot of TV shows. Because once I hear a fucking celebrity go, my pronoun is boop, I stop watching their TV shows. I stopped watching John Cena, that fucking bag of shit of a sellout. And I really wanted to watch that show he had on. What the fuck was the name of that show where he played a fucking a superhero? I wanted to watch that, but when he apologized to China for calling Taiwan a country, you lose my respect. When you let a fucking Chinese government tell you what to say, and rather it was Hollywood that told him what to say, but nonetheless, it's the Chinese government telling him what to say. Uh, Watch list prepper. My TV list is getting smaller and smaller by the day. It's like it's diminishing. I have nothing to watch. Right now I'm watching City on the Hill with Kevin Bacon and that other dude. Pretty good show. But that's all I have left. You know, and then The Walking Dead. I'm just finishing it because I've been watching it for 10 years, but I'm done with that squad. You're right. It's from Suicide Squad, but what the fuck was his name? Something Hammer or whatever the fuck it is. All right, my mother Spark. Yeah, you should have been. You shouldn't have been here tonight. You should have been in bed. My mother Spark came out to Hudson Valley's bug out weekend, if you will, or prepper yard sale. Sorry, she came out to that, and that was a fucking long ass drive for them. Her and her husband. So she should have been actually sleeping like a long time ago. But anyway, with that, guys. Yeah, Tab. I'm pretty much watching a lot of YouTube videos and catching up on a lot of other channels because there's just nothing to watch. RWD, I watched all the X Files. Actually, I have 2 seasons left. I have to get back to the one where they brought on Robert, whatever, the guy that played Terminator. I didn't watch those last 2 seasons. My pronouns, Murder Hornet. 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot of traveling. What's going on, Vancity? Thank you for joining us. But yes, Anna, you know the craziness is only going to get worse. The problem with the craziness, guys, is craziness often, if not all the time, turns into evil. Peacemaker, thank you. That's the problem, and I don't know why. No, no, I'm gonna walk it back. Most people don't see it, but if you look at history and the crazy periods we went through, or the beginning of crazy periods, or watch certain people like, I don't know, Jeffrey Dahmer, we watched craziness go unchecked and turn into evil. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what they want. They want that to be unchecked so the evil can flourish. That's the only way. Somebody said that also we're going to bed. Northern Girl, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going off the air in a couple minutes myself. I am tired. Every time I hit the fucking CrossFit gym, I feel like I aged fucking 20 more years and my knees start to hurt and I gotta roll out of bed, roll on the floor, roll all the way to the bathroom just to take a fucking leak. I can't even walk anymore. But yeah, that's what happens when you get old. But guys, nonetheless, the divide is coming and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, trying to, you know, yeah, okay, PAEMT, like the divide and conquer, but there's nothing we can do about it because crazy people are running the game now. And you can't talk to crazy. You can't reason with crazy. You can't rationalize their thoughts. You can't do any of that shit. There's only one acceptable answer to that, and that's to just not talk to them anymore. Walk away, turn away, run away, do whatever you got to do, but you cannot reason with crazy. Yes, kill it and grill it because I'm old and fat and black, by the way. But anyway, Grandpa Angry Prepper. Yeah, it just sucks getting old, especially working out. Someone said, wait till you're in your 60s. I don't even think I'm going to make my 60s. That's a different subject altogether. But yeah, guys, it's just going to get worse. Okay, so right, PAMT. All right, I'll not that I'll argue that. I'll agree to that, but I'll also, I guess, raise you one on the powers that be are creating psychological crap, but they're giving power to the psychological. Listen, the psychological crap was always there. It's always there. I was an EMT for many years. I watched it on the streets. Bobo World. That was a good episode from X File Home. You could only get that on the DVD set, if I'm not mistaken, right? Um, you got until 87 years old. So anyway, with that, guys, shit, lost my train of thought again because I'm fucking tired and I'm old and fat. Wait, you're black, but yeah, Peacemaker. I won't watch that show. But okay, that's what I was saying. Yeah, guys, we're allowing crazy people to have a voice. When I was in EMT, there was a lot of crazy shit on the street, but the crazy people were kept in their homes or back in the mental institutions. We're not doing that anymore. We're not keeping them in the mental institutions anymore, guys. We're fucking letting them have a voice and trying to reason with us as to why they want their pronouns to be this, why they like little kids. Oh, because it's an emotion that I've been dealing with for years. But I just want to be their friends. They're trying to make pedophilia okay. We are letting crazy guys run everything. And he says, PAMT says, medic for 25 years, now transporting mental health patients nearly every day, younger and younger. And PAEMT, when I left FDNY EMS, I don't know, 17 years ago, 18 years ago, I started noticing younger psych patients because before it was just older people for the most part. But I started noticing that. So if you're starting to notice that every day, then yeah, um, it's obviously an issue. And the internet is not helping with the psychosis of these kids either. That's also a problem. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have these channels telling kids that it's okay to be a little crazy. That was actually sealed, but um, we have Instagram and TikTok saying, "Oh, you could be different." There's a difference between being different and being a fucking entirely different, insane animal. Calling yourself, oh, today I like to call myself Basil. That's my name, Basil, bitch. I'm like, and this is your kid telling you this. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And people are playing into it because they don't want to hurt their kids' feeling. They want to make sure their kids are happy. They're like, I don't want my kid to kill himself. So do I have to play this game? I guess I do, and that's what the problem is. We play the game because we think our kids are going to kill themselves. Or at least that's what we're being told from the kids. If you don't acknowledge me this way, I don't know what I'm going to do next. All right, fucking, I'll tell you. I said I'll wrap you up in a fucking taco and put you in an insane asylum. We could play that game, you know. But yeah, guys, it's bad, and it's only getting worse, and it's getting worse every fucking day. Uh, yeah, Anne Marie, you're right. A crack on the ass is all I need. It's and yes, Lynn, you got to be a parent. You can't be their friend. That's the other thing too. A lot of parents today, they want to be their fucking kids' friends. No, you're not their fucking friends. You're their parents. You're to make sure they stay off the fucking stripper pole and out the insane asylum. That is your job. you know. But to be their friend and trust in me and talk to me, it don't work. You're there to lay the goddamn law down. You're there to be their parent. That's it. Anyway, guys, that being said, I'm gonna take my old ass to bed and rest my old bones in my bed because I'm fucking like 1,000% sure I broke something today. Maybe it was my fucking dignity. Who knows? But yeah, guys, it's homeschooling looks like it's going to be the future for a lot of parents. I hope it is for a lot of parents. Um, but we shall see. But I know that homeschooling has increased in the last 2 years, 3 years. Well, because of all that's going on. But if you're going to homeschool your kids. Keep them out of this atrocity that's going on in cities like New York. I don't know if it's happening elsewhere, but I know that it's definitely here in cities like New York and states like California. Anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you for watching me tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for the Wednesday midweek report and Thursday night. All right, guys, other than that, thank you for watching.